Review.
We have some major news on the ACORN story, which Fox, of course, broke earlier today. There will be a federal investigation into that organization's money. Treasury Department Inspector General announced it will conduct a review of ACORN's finances. My next guest says it's about time. Republican Congressman Steve King of Iowa began calling for an audit and an investigation of ACORN weeks and months ago. Congressman King joins us now from inside the Beltway. Congressman, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me on, David.
Have they ever been audited before?
Not to my knowledge. I don't have a knowledge that they've gone into this, and hopefully this will be broad enough that it'll take in all of the affiliates of ACORN as well. Well,
the most surprising thing for me, because I've been following ACORN literally for over 20 years now, is that they are a for-profit organization. All this time, I had thought that what they were doing was under the nonprofit umbrella, but they haven't been doing that. I guess part of the problem is they've been mixing these nonprofits with their profit organization, correct?
Mm-hmm. Well, they have been. There's a significant amount of evidence that they've commingled funds that may have come into as many as 361 different affiliates, and not all of them, but a large percentage of them commingled in the same account, run through the same affiliate, and then money distributed back out. So once you put one rotten apple of money in the barrel, then all apples in the barrel are rotten. Or in other words, you can't simply commingle funds without having the proper firewalls and say that some affiliates are nonprofit and others are for-profit. I can't imagine how ACORN can have accounting this way and be able to get past an IRS audit, U.S. Treasury Department review.
Well, indeed, they were working with the IRS very closely in programs and trying to help poor people figure out their taxes. But let me ask a very simple, naive question, if you will, which is, what's the problem with that? Why is there a problem with commingling funds of nonprofit and profit organizations?
Well, because there are fairly strict rules on firewalls that have to be maintained in accounting practices so that funds that are not-for-profit funds aren't used for, let's say, partisan political activities. And ACORN is clearly a partisan operation that's a get-out-the-vote operation for Democrats. And if there are not-for-profit funds that are commingled into that, then they've got the ability to go out and raise money that is not-for-profit and often tax-free for the donors that would be used in partisan activities, or the commingling of federal funds, U.S. taxpayer dollars or state dollars, other government entity dollars that are used for partisan purposes. That's clearly illegal, and I think we're going to find that there's all kinds of marks along the way if we can get a complete audit, a forensic audit of all of their affiliates.
By the way, we were just looking at pictures of their headquarters down in Louisiana, in which there are 250 organizations in one simple building, which clearly is not so. So there's some kind of commingling of funds. Well, there's a group called Citizens Services, Inc. This is a firm that was paid more than $800,000 by the Obama campaign for a get-out-the-vote program last year. Are you specifically going to look into that organization?
You know, if I get to make the call, I want to look into every organization, but that's certainly one to take a look at, and primarily because of the information that they were involved in the get-out-the-vote effort. If I remember right, it was $832,000, and the Obama administration, the Obama campaign, having hired them to get out the vote. And there's also evidence out there that indicates that the Obama administration may have taken the donors list that had maxed out to the Obama campaign and handed it over to ACORN for fundraising purposes, which would be another violation of campaign finance law.
Not good. Well, Steve King, please keep us abreast of what's going on there. We are very interested in this story for obvious reasons. Appreciate you coming in.
Well, thanks for the chance to say a few words, David. If I could ask you, was the Obama campaign poster still in the window at the headquarters down at New Orleans? It was when I took a picture there the first part of July.
It's a good question. I don't know. That might have been file footage that we were running there. It wasn't live footage, so it may well be from back in July. But let's both look into that one. Steve King, thank you very much.
I'll send you my picture. Thank you, David.
I appreciate it. Let's bring back whistleblower Gregory Hall. He is a former ACORN employee who saw ACORN's corruption, left the organization, and launched the, quote, Speaking Truth to Power